Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry from Bell Lost Souls Tabletop News with
Evan from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
and we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Evan.
Time for some Meeple War.
Meeple War!
This game is described as a prequel to Carcassonne, believe it or not.
Really?
Very loose prequel.
Very loose prequel?
Yeah, so basically you are playing as a civilization or a town or village that is creating buildings and sending your meatbuilds out to fight.
Okay.
I like to think of it as like it's a kind of a board game version of Age of Empires.
Age of
the
Empires.
computer game. You're building these buildings
yeah.
or upgrading the buildings. Each building does a different thing, and then your meeples are your little army guys that you're sending out. We'll see in a second. You build a little map. It's a little hexagon map. And
Right.
You can send them out, destroy other players' buildings. First person to get the most points wins. That sort of thing.
I spent a lot of time playing some Age of Empires.
Age of Empires 2, I still play it, man. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know how many hours I've clocked in these games, but it's been a lot. So, Longbowman. Anyway, let's take a look inside Meeple War.
All right, Evan, it is Meeple War time.
Yes.
I'm curious about this one.
Yeah, these are the meeples.
That is a giant golem
Robot thing.
Robot thing.
Anyway, here's the back side. It shows you kind of the layout. There's going to be a board with hexes or hexagons that changes. It's going to be different every game. And each player is going to have their own village and then 3 spots to build their own buildings.
I like the little
we'll get over that
already. So.
Yeah, let's go. It's a cool, nice little cartoonish art style.
Yeah.
Not bloody or anything like that.
Could be.
We got this.
Wars.
There we go.
All right.
This is the rule book. We'll go over that in a second. Quick reference.
Super handy.
2. All right. So
front and back, by the
yeah,
way.
front and back. There you go. These are the player areas. It goes up to 4. So there's 4 of them. You're gonna have your village on one part, and then 3 empty spaces to build buildings. Each building does different things. We'll go over that later. But there's 4 of those.
This is gonna be a big board, by the way. I can tell already.
Oh yeah. So here's starting off the bat. Here are the terrain pieces that go on the board. That side is going to be the same every time. It's going to have that. And then when you go exploring, you can flip over tiles.
So it does require exploration.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can add tiles to the board, stuff like that. But they're going to have different symbols and different things. Some of them are not going to do anything. Some of them are going to have a symbol that means something. We'll go over that in a second. Some more, like there's an altar over here, stuff like that.
These again, same symbols.
Same symbols, or same backside. Yeah. Keep going. Here are some examples of buildings. So like you have this one over here. You're gonna have a worker that goes in as a blank spot, and you have 3 options of what to do with this building.
Okay.
So this one means you can deploy 3 of your meeples. This one means you can train up to 2, and then this one means you can build another building. These are the villages. I mean, these are the starting villages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are what's gonna go on to. I'm gonna reach across here real quick. One of these spots. You put it on top of that spot.
Yeah, and you can see how it fits just fine.
Yeah, it's a hexagon. So there's the starting villages. Here are examples of buildings, but it's the same thing, same concept.
There's other stuff on the flip side as well.
Interesting.
So.
I think it's
like
being built. Yeah, so the buildings have 2 sides. One of them is the being built side, and you put a worker down, and each turn you can push it up one.
And then you flip it over.
And you flip it over when it's done. Boom, you have that building. It's the same concept, though, as the starting building. You have a place for your worker and a pathway your worker can go down. These up here are kind of health. When you are being attacked, the enemy's going to put their meeples up here, and if they fill it up, your building is destroyed. Ooh. One of the cool things, though, is you can team up with another player to start filling these spaces against another player. So yeah, this can be any combination of meeples, but if it's full, it's destroyed.
Gotcha.
So stuff like that. There's cool things like this one. When you go to this spot, you can deploy anywhere on the board. You don't have to just deploy.
Oh yeah, it's an airship.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to move each time, but you can deploy anywhere on the board. Stuff like that. So buildings, more buildings. You know,
different types of buildings.
Different types, different things. A lot of variety. A lot of things you can do. You can convert your enemies' troops or meeples and onto your side. You have a catapult that can kill all the enemies on one space. Stuff like that.
Brutal.
Yeah. These are the victory point timer or things, I guess you could say. Every time you go down this, I guess, tracker, everyone starts in this blank spot, and you go down this tracker. When you hit that side, you can add a meeple to your points triangle thing. Whenever you fill that up, you win. So that's how you win.
All right.
Keep going. There's a hammer of first turn.
Nice. That's pretty cool looking, actually.
Yeah. More stuff. Yeah. Keep going. And then, of course,
you gotta have Meeples.
Piece de la resistance, it's the Meeples. So
4 different colors.
Cool part, too, is if you want to go look in the bottom
Yeah,
of the...
real quick, too, we have extra baggies.
Yeah.
Always appreciate. Just to make sure there's nothing else in the box, let me go ahead and pull this thing out here. Nope, it is empty. Okay.
These are your workers. These are what's going to go on those, the square spots where you move them up over time. You give a little baggie of those. The cool part about the Meeples are they're not just different colors, but they're also different shapes. So even people who have trouble with color differentiation, different shapes. So there's
nice.
There's those guys.
Slightly different. They're all slightly different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The blue Meeple has kind of like the standard Meeple shape.
So even if you're color challenged, let's say. You can still totally tell what's what.
Yeah, the black Meeple, it's hard to see, but they have like little horns.
Okay.
But yeah, that's everything in the box.
Cool. Well, let's cut real quick and take a look at those rules. Sweet. We've got the Meeple War rules.
Yes.
Again, it's for 2 to 4 players or 2 to 4 clan leaders. Ages 14 up. It takes about 15 minutes per player, so it is slightly variable depending on how many players you have.
Full color.
Yep, full color. Let me slide this over real
Do
quick.
the driving.
Yep.
All right. Of course, game components, like most rule books, gonna have that right at the bat. Let's see. Goes right into it. So territories and buildings description. Quick overview of what the symbols mean on the buildings and different types. They'll show you all the ones that it comes with.
Yeah, we kind of touched on a lot of this already. Again, you start with a worker here. It moves over time.
Once it's built, you flip it over.
And you can have different paths for your workers to do different effects.
Yeah, definitely. So keep going. More setup. This is kind of what the board looks like for a 4-player game. It's different with a 3-player game or a 2-player game.
It's very cool looking.
Yeah, it gets bigger though the more players.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely really cool looking. There's a lot of variety too.
And these are just the initial setups. I think you can actually add more tiles if you choose to.
Yeah. So here's the 2-player version, and you explore. When you explore, you go off the board and you add a tile.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you would add more tiles to it. Like here's the 3-player game. The 4-player game starts with a lot of tiles, but that's because there's 4 people playing. Keep going down to there. All right, we have the quick start game. Just a quick overview how to go into
start
it.
with those buildings.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah, but we can skip that off. Game turn order. So
objective of the game.
Very good. The game ends as soon as a player gets to at least 6 victory points during their turn. That's the triangle. You put a Meeple on that triangle. The player with the most victory points wins. There are 3 ways to collect victory points. You can either collect victory points by bravery points for destroying opponent's Meeples. So 7 bravery points equals 1 victory point.
Cool.
By destroying enemy buildings, 1 victory point for each defense point. Or by controlling tower territories, 1 or 2 victory points depending on the tower. So there's several ways you can play and win.
Yeah.
It's not like a linear game. You can choose your path.
You can do a combo.
Yeah.
I think killing your opponent's Meeples and probably taking points is probably your fastest way to win the game.
Yes. Phases in a turn. There are 5 phases. There's a territory bonus, the worker movement, the complete actions on buildings, and Meeple movement of the battlefield, and then resolution.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we can just kind of skip over this. A territory bonus, stuff like that. Worker movement is just like moving your workers up on the buildings.
Yeah, placing them and then moving them.
Building actions, stuff that your buildings can do, like deploying or training.
Or firing your catapults.
Yes, I'm going to have a catapult. Meeple movement, stuff like that. Keep going, resolution, all that good stuff. It's pretty straightforward. This is the tracker we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, you can get a victory point from that.
And you go back to the bottom.
Yep, exactly. Keep going. There are things like territory upgrades, which are pretty self-explanatory too. I mean, we saw the little symbols when we were going through the game, and then into the game, how it ends, stuff like that.
Again.
After that, it's just symbols and what they mean. So skipping through that, look at all these symbols. You can convert your troops. The symbol means you can kill all the troops in a hex. You can recycle. So if your troop dies, you can just go back to the building where it started.
That's good. That's pretty nice.
Very nice. Weapon forge, stuff like that. Keep going. you know, special territories, what they mean, like the mines and stuff like that. Caverns.
I like that the meeples are basically giant animated golems.
Like golems, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can see there.
But also you can see that the meeple, like this looks like the black meeple because it has the horns and stuff like that.
This one right here shows off.
Yeah,
this artwork is kind of showing what they all look like, which is kind of fun. I think that's neat.
It's a lot of fun. And then that's it. That's the basic overview. There's of course a quick reference guide.
And you get those sheets too. That
here I'll show you real quick. These sheets as well.
Yeah.
In the game. So. Yeah, it's very straightforward. I mean, this reminds me of Age of Empires too. We keep saying that, but it's definitely like that. You can explore tiles, a different board every time, and battling each other.
It's random. The tile.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over the combat. Is super simple. When you put troops on a hex, you just each lose. You know, as many troops evenly.
So if I have 5 and you have 4,
yeah,
we would both lose 4.
Exactly, and whoever has the most at the end wins. Right. There's no rolling dice like Risk or anything like that. Yeah. It's straightforward.
Yeah, these meeples, they just take each other out.
Oh yeah, it's one-on-one. So yeah, that's the basic overview of Meeple War.
Cool. Let's hop out for a really fast recap.
That was Meeple War.
Yeah.
Bring back memories, man.
Yeah.
Bring back memories of Age of Empires.
But also, yeah, we were talking about Age of Empires too for a while in between shots. But yeah.
So good. Anyway, Meeple War.
Yeah, great little art style. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. The best part is the map is different every single time.
I like the little base building.
Yeah, you build a little base. Yeah. You have 3 sections to build buildings.
Yeah.
And it's just it looks different aesthetically. It's pleasing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. You can really explore.
It's kind of like a turn-based strategy. I mean, it is a turn-based strategy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So
it's cool stuff. Let's come to numbers on this one real fast.
Yes.
This is Meeple War. It's from Blue Cocker and CMON games.
Yeah.
What's the runtime on this one? First off,
it's usually around 30 to 60 minutes. Not a super long game at all.
And we saw you can play 2 to 4 players.
2 players.
They do recommend 14 and up.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to war.
It's not that violent though.
I mean, war's not that.
Yeah.
The Meeples are not very. They're Meeples.
Yeah.
What's the price point of this one?
$39.99.
$39. That's not bad. Actually.
For a lot of variety that you get in this game, that's not a bad price at all.
Yeah.
So.
If you find yourself, aching for like retro turn-based strategy games, or go check this out.
Easy. I mean, it's like easy terrain capturing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very. Again,
like there's no rolling dice for combat or anything like that. It's just you put this amount of people in there. You each lose the same amount up to whoever has the least amount.
Yeah.
That sounded really complicated. We described it a little better.
Yeah.
But
it's really not. Yeah. It's very super. It's not a super.
It's not a complex game. Yeah.
Pretty fun to pick up and play. Is this one brand new?
Brand new. Just came out in stores right now.
Go check it out. I'm AdamHarry from Bowls.
I'm Evan from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching.
Tabletop Spotlight brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.